Alright, so we have Jamie Mullarkey versus Devonte Smith. So Jamie Mullarkey is 3 inches taller, but incredibly, Devonte Smith has a 2-inch reach advantage, so very long arms for his height there with Devonte. So on the feet, Smith, he's constantly feigning. He mixes up his feints quite well. I do like his feinting game as a whole, mostly throwing everything down the pipe. Got a very nice jab, nice 1-2. So very nice stiff jab, step in, stiff jab, very long arms for his height, so you don't expect him to be, hitting you with that jab from the range that he's hitting you with. And he uses that jab as a rangefinder for his right straight, which is his moneymaker for sure. And he doesn't just abuse his right straight, which I do like. He's very sparing with his right hand, and he doesn't really, go too crazy with it, get too repetitive with the 1-2s. He likes to use the jab to maintain range, and then once he does see an opening, he will go for that 2. He likes the slide 2, but yeah, very fast 1-2. Nice 1-2, nice straight punches, really. He can overextend on his straight right at times, but he's pretty solid mostly. And those straight punches, they're going to be landing on Jamie Mullarkey because he doesn't move his head a whole lot. Jamie Mullarkey's hands have looked a lot better since joining City Kickboxing, but he's still definitely an inferior striker to Devonte Smith. But Jamie Mullarkey looks to get that forward pressure, and he looks for the double leg on the fence. He likes mixing in the wrestling. For Devonte Smith, if he is able to stop the takedown, and the opponent's just kind of stalling on the fence, he will go for Travis Brown elbows to defend a double leg or just to hurt the opponent when they're stalling on a double leg. But if he gets taken down, from what I've seen, his guard's very easily passed. He just kind of holds on to his opponent and hopes the ref stands them up. From what I've seen, haven't seen it in a while, but we'll get into that in a sec. How these guys win fights, so for Smith, he's got power in his hands, he's got killer instinct as well. When he does hurt you, he does sense it, and he will go for the finish. For Jamie Mullarkey, he's got a good chin, and he's gritty. How he loses? He's too hittable. He's just too hittable. How Devonte Smith loses? Subpar takedown defense, poor get-ups, and his chin looks pretty suspect, honestly. I really didn't like the way he reacted from that left hook from Kamaworthy. Kamaworthy does have a bit of power, but he just got totally blindsided by it and was just totally rocked out on his feet, really, by a punch that didn't look like it had that much wind-up behind it or too much mustard behind it, really. And just in the past, his chin hasn't looked great either. But also the striking tendencies, I didn't mention them before, but he's uncomfortable when he's pressured. He starts squaring his stance. He starts reaching hard for his opponents. And yeah, he does try and reach for like every punch. And it's lucky he's got very long arms, because if one of those was to get to the chin, I don't know if his chin could take it, but he will reach for opponents, in close, so potential for uppercuts there, maybe beat him, maybe hand fight, and then, go for an elbow, but it's just very predictable, and he probably needs to work on it a little bit. But also, I just question, he seems to tire a little bit, and maybe even quit in high-paced fights. Like the Gunther fight, you watch the Gunther fight, he didn't want to be there, and he was just getting out-grappled by Gunther. And he just didn't look like he wanted to be there. So these tendencies that I'm mentioning are from a few years ago. Limited evidence of improvement since then, though, so I'll get into it in a sec, but we haven't seen improvements, really. Path to victory for these two. So for Devonte Smith, obtain the front foot by using feints and your jab to get respect early. Jab early, establish range, get intel of how he's going to shoot. So just single shots, just jabs, get the distance, and then you'll see how he's about to shoot, because you're not overextending on your 2, you're not really throwing it that much, you're just throwing jabs for the most part. Also low calf kicks, he doesn't check them, and he's quite heavy on the lead leg. For Jamie Mullarkey, heavily pressure him, get in the pocket, make it really ugly, make it a scrappy fight, but just a wrestling heavy game plan in my opinion, and clinch a lot, clinch as often as you possibly can. For Devonte Smith, if he's stalling on a double leg on the fence and you're feeling comfortable with how your weight is at the moment, then go for some Travis Brown elbows, but mostly just focus on staying upright, and then you can go for the damage. But yeah, it could be open for a guy like Mullarkey who will stall on a double leg on the fence. So how I see the fight going. So last time I taped Devonte, I put down that he gets subpar takedown defense and poor get-ups. And I'm going to keep that there because I haven't seen any improvements. Now, the fights where I made those assessments and those notes from were from over 4 years ago, like the Wilkinson and the Gunther fights. So most of the negative things I have put in my notes about Devonte Smith are tendencies displayed in fights that are over 4 years old, you know. But since he's a young guy and he trains with Mark Montoya at Factory X, so you got to imagine he's improving fight to fight, camp to camp. It's just I haven't seen those perceived weaknesses tested in a while. I've never seen them tested since the Gunther fight, really. I'm referring to his tendencies in regards to being pressured and in regards to his takedown defense / bottom game. Like, I don't have a great read on whether his takedown defense has improved. Like, I guess he defended that one takedown, that one single leg from Justin James, but he didn't even really. Like, he just tried to hit him with hammer fists, and James just kind of gave up on the takedown. He didn't, like, you know, do anything technical to get out of that takedown. He didn't use any, you know, technical takedown defense. But then when James blitzed him at the start of the second round and tried to take Devonte down a second time with a double leg on the fence, like, Devonte hit the slickest reversal I've ever seen to end up in side mount. So I'm not sure where his takedown defense level is at, in all honesty, and his wrestling level is at. But I'm hoping that a few of my questions do get answered in this fight because Mullarkey is going to be testing that takedown defense. So I'm hoping we also see a bit of Devonte off his back, just so I can see if he's made any of improvements in that position as well. But I'm going to take the gamble and say that Smith's takedown defense is going to hold up here and he knocks the hittable Jamie Mullarkey out in his feet. Like, the guy can crack and the jab just isn't going to be missing. Jamie Mullarkey just doesn't move his head. Wouldn't surprise me if Mullarkey slept him either. It seems Devonte's chin is like on the same level as Karma Worthy's, so it really wouldn't surprise me if, you know, Jamie just one-shotted him. But yeah, Devonte Smith, like, he's got pretty good striking defense, like pretty good range management as a whole, but when he does get hit, and he doesn't get hit a whole lot, he does the chicken dance, like, basically every time. Like, he got tagged in the Justin James fight, and he was on wobbly legs for like a second. That was the one time I swear he got hit in the Justin James fight. But I'm probably going to stay away from betting it. I haven't seen the line yet, but probably going to stay away from betting it because Mullarkey could potentially Gunther him, but also Devonte Smith could potentially nuke him on the feet after stuffing all the takedowns. It's just, I don't know where Devonte Smith's takedown defense level is at the moment. Alright, so if you guys could like the video, that'd be awesome. Prediction is Devonte Smith by KO in round 1. So yeah, like, I've already looked at these lines. I'm pretty sure I didn't like anything. I think they've lined everything perfectly. I mean, Smith KO, like, that's probably going to happen, but I don't want to pay that much juice on it. Yeah, I think everything's lined perfectly. I was going to play Mullarkey if he got to like $2.80 or something like that, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. I was going to play Devonte Smith if he was a pick'em, just because, like, he has so many flaws in his game, like, that haven't been tested in a while. So, and Jamie Mullarkey definitely, you know, will test those here. So that's what I was kind of worried about. That's why I don't want to pay too much of a premium on Devonte Smith until he shows, like, that he has improved his grappling and his takedown defense.